What's up, guys? It's CDome. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I'm going to be going over with you guys a lot of PUBG news. Number one, bots are coming to PUBG public matches. I think so far just console only, but I think soon PC is going to see it too. We're also going to be going over a few of their dev letters where they talked about their DDoS attacks, their issues with hackers, and how they're going to approach that. And then we're also going to cover network issues, bug fixes, and more. I've done my best to go over all these different dev letters and patch notes to simplify it and keep it as concise as possible. So stick with me and let's jump right in. Whew. All right, guys, we got a lot to go over today. I'm doing my best to keep this video as short as possible and give you guys just the need to know. First, we're going to start off with the bots coming to PUBG. It's been confirmed patch 7.1 for console will implement bots to public matches. They haven't said or denied that's going to be coming to PC, but we'll probably see how it's implemented on console, and then we'll likely see it roll out to PC soon. So a few notes. So bots are going to be dynamically added to public matches. They won't be added to teams of real players, so they're only going to be on their own teams. If you're doing duos or squads, if you're in solos, you'll have bots there as well. And they're only going to be added based on the average MMR of the matchmaking pool for that lobby. So if there's a lot of high MMR, high skilled players, there's going to be less bots in there. Now, no word if the bots will have an actual bot name in the kill feed or if they'll have like a real life looking name. So it'll be interesting to see how they implement that. They'll likely put a bot name on it, but I think it'd be kind of funny if they didn't, just so that can be a little guessing game to see if you killed a bot or a real player. Now, according to the dev letter, these bots are going to be able to do pretty much everything a normal player can do. So they can walk, they can run, they can crouch, prone, they can vault, they can shoot, obviously, swim, parachute, and loot. There's only a few things they can't do, like drive vehicles. They can't jump, and they can't do ledge grabs, like to get on top of like a roof or something like that. But essentially everything else they can do. All right, now if you kill a bot, it is going to go towards your stats and your weapon masteries, so don't worry about that. You can still get all your missions, like your daily, weekly, and monthly missions if you kill a bot, so that's still implemented. The bots are going to have different loot based on match time, according to the dev letter. So early game, you can expect to see a bot have more like SMG, shotgun type weapons. Later games, they'll probably have higher tier loot and ARs and sniper rifles. So when you kill them and you loot them, they'll have normal loot just like a real player would. Now, some interesting side thoughts on that looting comment is that will the bots know where all the loot is, essentially? Like, will they be able to just run right towards level 3 vest and helmet if it's on the world spawn, or run towards an M24 with an 8x or something? Be interesting to see how they implement that, and then if it can be exploited at all. Like, if you know late game, if you see a bot run into a compound, you just go let them run in there, come out with the good stuff, and then kill them. I don't know. It'll be kind of interesting. Let's see how that works. Now, speaking of shooting, they made sure to focus on the bot shooting mechanics to make it as real to PUBG as possible, so you don't instantly get wrecked by an auto-aim PUBG bot. And you can also potentially dodge the shots just like you could a real life player. So like they take into account bullet trajectory and player movement before they shoot. So if they have like a sniper rifle or a DMR or something, or even an AR, and they're trying to spray you, you can still bob and weave and dodge just like you would a real life player. So overall, I don't know. I think bots are going to be pretty cool. I think it's been needed for a while, especially on console. I don't see why they wouldn't add it to PC at this point. We were having an interesting conversation last night on stream where we talked about different features that PUBG should add or shouldn't add that could bring in new players, or maybe it wouldn't do anything. To me, bots seems like it's more or less not going to bring in new players, but are to help keep a player base that we do have. So for the newer players that are still learning the ropes on PUBG, or maybe they've been playing PUBG a while, they're just not that great, and they're tired of getting shit on by sweaty FPP players or something like that, the bot implementation, I feel like, is going to help that out a lot. So we'll see what it does for the community. Okay, so moving on, we're going to be going over PUBG's hacking problems, how they're going to deal with cheaters, dealing with network statistics, and like DDoS bugs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to round all that up for you guys. First things first, PUBG is going to be adding two-factor authentication, which must be enabled to get into the ranked mode. That ranked mode is supposed to be coming out next month, so it's what, April 24th. So by the end of May or June-ish, ranked mode should be implemented. And in order to get into that, you're going to have this two-factor authentication mode enabled. This is going to eliminate some cheaters being able to get into to ranked mode using like pre-purchased accounts or something like that. PUBG is going to be improving their hack vulnerability in their code. Essentially, This means the server is going to be able to auto detect when like weapons, vehicles, and player movements don't do what the core logic says they can do. So higher fire rates, vehicles flying in the air, players moving incredibly fast or flying in the air themselves, all those kind of things can be automatically detected by the system and then addressed in real time. PUBG has enhanced the cheating and ban process for 2020. So this is not scheduled until July to be implemented, but the software is going to auto search and detect third-party programs for differences in logic values, and even for pre-suspended accounts, they'll be able to reenact or enable bans on those systems and accounts automatically. What this essentially means is that the cheaters are going to stay active for a shorter period of time. So instead of this cheater to stay in the game for a week and ruin, hundreds of people's games, maybe they only stay for a day or two and then get banned. Not an ideal solution, but it is a step in the right direction here. Okay, so next let's go over hardware bans. So currently PUBG actually does hardware ban permanently ban cheaters, but apparently it's pretty easy to dodge by doing a couple things. Number one, they can just replace certain pieces of their hardware to get by that. There's actually programs that can alter like the hardware's UNID that shows up on the algorithm that scans for it, and that can basically cheat the system into thinking it's an unbanned piece of equipment and still allow that banned hardware back into the system. This new system is going to go deeper into the hardware and implement some kind of new algorithm that's going to further detect those banned hardware UNIDs and stop them from being able to get back into the system. All right, so speaking of bans, PUBG is going to be strengthening the level of bans that they implement onto cheaters and accused cheaters. Currently, they instantly ban anyone with direct evidence of cheating and give suspected players a 24-hour suspension until they do further investigations. Now, the majority of these temporary bans do equal a permanent ban overall, according to PUBG stats, but some players still get accused wrongly and do end up getting a 24-hour or a few-day suspension. I even got one a couple months ago. Now, starting in June 2020, there are going to be more strict going forward, and they will implement a live monitoring feature for accounts that are flagged multiple times. So whether that's a legitimate account who's just playing extremely well and getting reported frequently, or if it's a player who's actually cheating and getting around the system multiple times, that'll be one additional feature they can implement to catch those people and get them back out of the game. They will further automate the process of wrongly banned accounts too. So there's going to be like a redeem process where you can go through a couple of different checkboxes, show that you have not been cheating, and then get auto unbanned without having to go through this appeal manual review process. All right, a big one for PUBG is going to be network performance and stability improvements. So the past few months, PUBG has been dealing with a lot of DDoS attacks. So where hackers are attacking the network of PUBG, causing all the game servers to lag or crash. And this has been a big problem since November of 2019, and it really spiked, they said, in February of 2020. PUBG is now at a point where they blocked the majority of the DDoS attacks coming in, but part of the problem with that is the features they implemented to block the DDoS attacks have actually caused a lot of packet loss issues for NA and EU players. So it's kind of ironic that the feature to stop hackers is hurting the legit player base, but that's one of the issues they're dealing with now, and they're working towards that fix. They've implemented a new patch to reduce hitching across multiple different scenarios in the game, and they also reverted blood effects back to patch 5.3, because apparently the new cool blood splatter effects were causing other instances of crashing and hitching. So they've gotten rid of those. Hopefully we'll see that implemented again in the future, just without the crashes. They've also added a slew of optimizations for GPU encoding and features to help lower spec PCs run the game properly. PUBG is also making improvements to the memory loss issues, where memory leakage for playing long play sessions would cause players' performance to degrade over time. Now, to avoid or combat this, you could also reset your PUBG client every hour or two. That would help get around this issue. All right, in addition to all these network and bug fixes, PUBG did just launch patch 7.1, which introduced Vikendi, the new sniper rifle, trains, and a number of other things. I've addressed all those in a previous video, which you can watch. I'll link down here or in the card up above. So with that, guys, I'll just leave you with my closing thoughts on these dev letters and PUBG's plans for 2020. So a quick recap, first of all. Ranked mode is supposed to be coming next month. That's May or June. We should be having ranked mode. These attacks on hackers, or to prevent the hackers from getting into the game, are supposed to be implemented June and July. So expect to see some changes there. Bots are coming to PUBG console now, patch 7.1. We don't know when to PC, but expect to see that soon if it's implemented well on console. Overall, I think this is a great step for PUBG. They're being very open with this set of communications they just released. I know it's kind of like a repeat with them where they go quiet for months and months and months and don't give us any news. And then all of a sudden it's like bam, 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 bam. They get a change of management or a change of direction or something. Something's going on up there. And now they're allowed to flood us with all this information. Be really nice if we could just get consistent monthly information from the PUBG devs, community managers, or what have you. So I don't know. I'm excited for ranked mode. I'm excited for bots if they come to PC. I think that'll be a good thing. It'll help the lower casual player base. My concern, my concern is when they add PUBG ranked mode, how that's going to affect the matchmaking queue times. Just last night, for instance, I had trouble getting into an FPP solo match last night without waiting for a 2 or 3 minute queue. So I was playing one-man squads all night just so I can get into matches quicker. So hopefully that doesn't get negatively impacted by the ranked mode. Ideally, the ranked mode would bring back some of the player base to PUBG, especially the FPP lobbies where more of the sweats are known to be. So we'll see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think about the dev letter and PUBG's kind of direction on how they're taking it in the comments below. If you guys had any other things you wanted me to cover that I didn't, or maybe something I missed, let me know. And my next video, I'm planning on making a video for people who are switching from console to PC. I've been on PC for about a year now. Used to play on console for whatever 29 years before that. So it's a lot of growing pains to go over, and I feel like I've mastered it pretty well at this point to where I can give some positive feedback on how to get that transition done properly. So if you're looking forward to that video, make sure you subscribe for future PUBG content, like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Papa Dome's out. Peace.